Hey, greetings, and welcome back to another episode of the Relationship Schools podcast. I'm your host, Jayson Gaddis, shouting at you from Boulder, Colorado. All right, it has been quite a year. We are now at just beyond the 1-year COVID anniversary. We've been through a lot, haven't we? And COVID seems to have improved relationships, or it's made abundantly clear how much work you have to do in your relationship, or how it's on its way out. It's just not really working. Stress, any kind of stress, as you know, as I talk about a lot on here, will push forward to the surface unresolved relationship challenges with you and other people, particularly in your high-stake relationships. Yeah, not fun, I know. And because you're growth-oriented, you are up for it, right? You're up for the challenge to working through stuff with other folks. I will be talking about that briefly today. Before I do that, I just wanted to thank you all for leaving reviews, and I appreciate, being kind there. And your typewritten words actually go a long way to us reaching more people. Apparently that helps with the algorithm to get this podcast into more hands and ears of people that need it, that need help here. Yeah. All right, as you know, I am doing a monthly challenge. And the monthly challenge is interesting. And we had our first challenge last month, and a few brave people participated and played. And the winner got 2 free tickets to our Accepted and Connected event, which I am so psyched about. It's coming up May 6th through the 8th. And I want you there. Okay, you can go to relationshipschool.com/connected to get more deets. You can bring a friend for $100. All right, and we are in our super early bird window, and I want to encourage you to come play and learn. All right, it's virtual. You can come anywhere in the world, attend, and learn and grow. Okay, so if you want another chance to win 2 free tickets to that event worth almost $2,000 if you bring a friend, then I encourage you to go to relationshipschool.com/challenge to make sure you're on my email list for the monthly challenge. And every month I will be doing a new challenge, and there's a way to play and participate. And if you win, there's going to be really good surprises for you. Okay, and by the end of the year, we'll have the end of the year challenge, which is going to be a big deal. All right. Super psyched. Okay. All right. Go to relationshipschool.com/challenge, by the way, if you want to sign up. If you're already on our newsletter, our email list, you don't need to, but you just need to make sure that we're not in your spam folder. All right. Okay. Awesome. In this episode, I want to talk about one chapter of my new book. It's chapter 13. Okay, first of all, my book title, which I haven't shared with you before, is called Getting to Zero. Zero is the place where we feel good and connected with ourselves and another person. And a lot of us have settled, sadly, for a 0 that is more like a 5 or a 4. Because if you grew up in a family where stress was around and it was the water you swam in, and you don't really know that it could be better for you. But when you feel awesome with another partner or friend in your life, family member, you just feel really good, like we are on point. That's 0. I'm not talking about the honeymoon stage of a relationship, although you're welcome to include that. I'm talking about years of a friendship, and you still feel really strong and solid with another person. You're at 0 most of the time. And yes, you might get into a conflict, and then that number goes up to 3, 4, 5. And when we're really triggered, we're at a 8, 9, or 10. And that can be very difficult to work through conflict from that place. So this entire book is about how do you get down to 0? Like you're in a great place with another person, right? So I am so psyched to get this out into as many hands as possible, because I think if we humans learn how to work through our differences, we will live in a brighter place. And then we can face bigger challenges when we can actually collaborate and work together. So the subtitle of the book is how to work through conflict in your high stakes relationships. All right. That's really what the book's about. And that's so much of what I teach here at the Relationship School. So chapter 13 is called The 5 Most Common Types of Fights and How to Face Them. And I just want to mention them briefly here as a teaser, and for you is like a diagnostic tool to see if, where am I stuck, right? What am I stuck in? Okay, the first type of fight is a surface fight. This is where you feel like you're arguing about the dishes or the bills or who was late or who was on time and who wasn't. And it can feel like surfacey, judgy stuff. You're trying to pick a Netflix movie on a Friday night and you just can't figure it out. That's a surface fight. And then you get really irritated and maybe one of you shuts down and retreats to the corner of the house and is like, just so pissed. Well, there's more going on than that surface fight. And what I say in the book is that surface fights always have another layer down, often more than just one layer. It's like, what are we really arguing about? What's going on here? And when we're fighting about the Netflix thing, it might be that the deeper issue is that you don't feel understood by your partner, and that's what the fight's really about. Or it might be that there's a lingering resentment that's been around for years that just got kicked up because of the content of the movie or the decision-making process and how hard it is to make a decision together, get on the same page. There could be a buried resentment, which is another one of the types of fights, right? So surface fight, number 1. Number 2, second type of fight is childhood projections. Childhood projections, what are those? Well, we project, you're pretty savvy as a growth development-oriented person listening to this podcast. We project our historical stuff onto our partner. And that's very common. When you get into an argument and someone raises their voice, for example, and you get activated. Most of us get activated when someone raises their voice, but if we want to get specific, maybe you grew up in a family with a stern father who raised his voice, and you start to brace or shut down or freeze or run away, dissociate, because your partner is getting kind of intense. Well, if you grew up in that kind of family, it's going to be pretty clear that you're going to attract a person who has the same behavior, and it's going to trigger you. And we then project onto the other person that they're actually going to hurt us or leave us or whatever happened as a kid, we'll project that onto the other person. And childhood projections are very, very common, especially in like a marriage where your partner starts to feel like mom or dad and vice versa. And it's this can be painful if you don't understand like psychology basics. And this just goes on in all relationships, but particularly high-stake ones, where we're projecting our historical stuff onto a present figure, partner, boss, whoever, right? So it's just important for you to be aware of those. In the book, I talk about how to really work with those. And then we have number 3 is security challenges. And security challenges are all about do you both have 2 feet in to this relationship or not? And this is where a lot of you get stuck. I get so many emails and social media comments that basically say my partner won't do the work, or it feels like they're not sure if they want to be with me. So you could fight about the dishes or the bills or the weather or traffic. And really what's going on at the end of the day is you're not sure that the relationship's unstable because someone does not have 2 feet in. And this is an unstable or insecure relationship. And this is extremely common and normal, so you're not crazy here. But the work is to establish security. And one of the ways we can do that is through agreements, which I also talk about in the book, how to set up agreements and create agreements that actually support security. Yeah. Okay, so security fights are a big one. You might just get curious if you find yourself in these interpersonal snags, if there's a deeper layer of, gosh, you know what, what this is really about is insecurity. This created a lot of problems in my relationship with my wife, Ellen, early on in our relationship because I wouldn't put 2 feet in. And it's amazing how many more problems that creates. Yeah. Okay, the fourth type of fight is a value differences fight. And I spent an entire chapter on how to actually work through value differences because these are huge. Where should our kids go to school? Well, I think they should go here. I think they should go there. What are our actual religious or spiritual beliefs? Turns out we have some differences here. Maybe you value saving money and I value spending money. And now we're going to have, money fights and money problems, but it comes down to a very basic difference in our values. And so many of us cling and hold on dearly to our values. And if they're in juxtaposition or opposed to another person, a partner, business partner, lover, long-term marriage partner, man, these get very challenging. And if you don't have enough common ground in your value differences, you're going to have, again, more challenges. So that's why it's like Ellen and I have a lot of shared values, growth and development being one of them, psychology being another value, learning and growing another value, right? How we parent, another value that we're just super aligned on. So value differences create big problems and fights, a lot of surface fights. They can create resentments if I decide to adhere to your values and I actually don't really want to do that, but I'm doing it for you. I'm going to resent you, which is the final type of fights. Number 5 is the resentment. And resentments, this is where things get really hard for people. If I resent you and I don't speak up about that resentment and I don't learn how to deal with it and work through it, it's going to eventually erode the relationship and the trust and our connection. And we'll have a hard time getting to zero about anything if there's this fundamental resentment going on. Yeah. And resentments are tricky because they're often hidden. Like if we have a pretty good relationship, we can go years and all of a sudden that thing happens that doesn't happen very often. That thing happens and it triggers us into that thing that happened 3 years ago. And we're like, oh, and that tells us that we didn't successfully deal with that thing from 3 years ago. So resentments are hard to see sometimes. That's what I'm saying. And in the book, again, I talk a lot about how we're going to work through those. And all of these types of fights are workable and doable. And at our Accepted and Connected event coming up, relationshipschool.com/connected, we're going to get deep into these, all of this, and help you work through stuff, okay? The how-to is happening at that event. You don't have to wait for the book, which is happening in October. You can come to our May event and get some practical guidance. All right? Cool. I look forward to it. These are the big types of fights most people get into, find themselves in, struggle with, and you're not alone if that's you. And I encourage you to come learn, apply yourself. If you never learned how to work through conflict, guys, how can you expect a different relationship if you don't apply yourself and learn? It's working through conflict is a skill like anything. And one of the things you must learn how to do is work with your own reactivity and the other person's. And I'm going to try to give you as many tools as I can and practice during this event. Okay, coming up, relationshipschool.com/connected. All right. Okay, guys. So your action step is to write these down. Ask the person you're in partnership with, which types of fights are we kind of stuck in? Do we sort of loop ourselves around? And what are we going to do about it? What's our plan? So this could be a friend, this could be a business partner, this could be a family member. But ideally, it's another willing person who you do have some actual conflicts with, and come up with a plan. And maybe one thing on your plan is to come to this event, Awesome. And again, if you're single, partnered, individual, or you're a couple, it doesn't matter. You're all welcome. We all need help with this, including me. Why do you think I teach this stuff? Because I have a lot to learn here as well. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I look forward to seeing you at our Accepted and Connected event hopefully. And jump in now because the price will go up soon. All right? Cool. Take care, everybody. Have a beautiful morning, day, evening, wherever you are. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share one of these videos with a friend. We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships, and you are one of them, so thank you.